Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is episode 62 of the Investor Professor podcast, another mini episode as I get you ready for your long Labor Day weekend. Interesting fun fact about the stock market: this past week usually has the lowest volume of any week, and it proved it again this week on Monday. It was the lightest trading day of the year. But anyways, more about that later. Today, we're going to go over this really neat article about Tesla, or one that I found interesting anyways. And so have you ever looked to see who actually owns Tesla? You know, you can look up stocks, you can see who owns it, you can see how many retail investors own it, you can see how many institutions own it, different people. And so should not be a shock to you, the largest stockholder of Tesla is Elon Musk at 14.8%. And then the retail investors, which this usually doesn't happen. Usually retail investors are not going to be second, but 12.9% of all Tesla shares are owned by retail investors. And then you have some of the big institutions, the Vanguards, BlackRock, State Street. Those are the ones you would normally see second that are doing ETFs, mutual funds, things of that nature. But there is a growing number of people who live in South Korea buying Tesla shares. And South Koreans have amassed over $15 billion worth of Tesla shares over the last couple of years. And so they are now the seventh largest holder of Tesla shares at 1.6% of everything. And so they actually call themselves Teslams, right? Which is a mix of the word Tesla and Islam, where they're basically betting on Tesla's fortune to help propel them to another, social class, all these things. And so there's stories where these families have actually sold their houses and they move into an apartment and they shove all the money that they've made into Tesla. So they're in the story by Bloomberg. There's a couple. They sold their apartment for $230,000 and they shoved every piece of their life savings into Tesla stock. And so, man, that is a commitment. And so one of the things with these individual or these retail investors in other places is, like this couple said, that the property market is so hot that they thought they could sell their house, maybe wait for the property market to drop and then be able to buy back into something. But it didn't work out that way. And so they basically put all their money into Tesla to try to make enough to be able to buy something. And so, just for context here, a 3-bedroom apartment in Seoul, South Korea averages $924,000. And so we're seeing this trend not only with Tesla, but just other people, just where the property values are so high. Think about maybe California in the United States, where young people that are out of college are not able, they don't have any confidence that they're ever going to be able to move back to maybe where they came from and buy into a house. And so there's actually a quote from somebody in this article. It says, "I thought I would live well by working at a good company after college, but the reality is that we are the poorest in our neighborhood. Living as a salaried worker, there are so many limitations." And so this kind of goes back to that, the thought process of being an entrepreneur, being in control of your own destiny, being in control of what kind of salary jumps you get. And so, for some people, risking money in the stock market and the crypto market is sadly the only way that they feel that they can actually make real wealth or make real money. And so, take it for what it's worth, but it's just an article about that. But that there's a growing number of people in their 20s and 30s who feel like they don't have enough assets, or that they're not going to be able to create enough assets, so that they have to gamble on riskier parts of the market to be able to make that happen. Now, we could talk if Tesla's a risky investment or not later on, but it definitely is risky to put everything you own, your life savings, into one holding. But if you feel like that's your only shot, people are going to be willing to do that. And the article goes on to talk about a 27-year-old who puts half his paycheck into Tesla every single month. And so his immediate goal, he says, is to be able to buy a house. Now, when you have retail investors, if they're willing to stick with it, it actually can decrease the volatility of the stock. And when the Twitter deal came out that they were going to buy Twitter, that Tesla was going to buy Twitter, they asked him about that, and they said, Teslans like myself are not changing our investment. We are staying firm. So they really are putting blind faith into Tesla, Elon Musk, to be able to change their lives. So if you want to go read that article, you can find it on Bloomberg. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time.